Hi, today I want to talk to you real quick about 4 mistakes people make when trying to go with solar. I'm going to tell you the top 4 mistakes that you're going to make when you try to set up your solar system. If it's just a system that you want to have for a backup, such as lights, computer, maybe even a refrigerator, a small system like mine will work good. But if you want to carry anything real heavy, what I have is an electric skillet right here. Now this skillet pulls 1200 watts. I hope you can see that because it's hard for me to see out of this. Now I have an 1100 watt inverter. I do have a larger inverter, but what's going to happen here almost immediately, let me plug it in there. Almost immediately, the inverter, yes, will probably start, even though it says 1100 watt to 2200 watt. This is a 1200 watt skillet here, electric skillet. I have some water here. One of the biggest mistakes people make is they overload their inverter, which is a huge mistake. Unfortunately, I don't have enough water to cover the whole bottom there. See if I can try to level this out a little bit. Okay, that's a little bit better. Well, it was. Alright. Now, when I turn this on, of course, this is off. But, real quick, here's some big mistakes. One, you don't have enough solar. You don't have enough solar panels. You don't have a large enough charger controller. And my charger controller, of course, is up here. Number 2, you don't have enough, as far as the cable size, you don't have big enough cables. That is a major thing that most people need to think about. Number 3, your batteries. Most people do not have nearly enough battery storage or capacity to run heavy appliances such as this deep fryer. Alright. 4, let's see, I think I lost track. 1 is solar panels, 2 wires, 3 batteries, and 4 is the inverter size. Okay, now I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to put this on watts, and I'm going to turn this on, and it is not going to carry long at all. That is on 450 degrees. It is on. Unfortunately, I don't have water covering the whole thing. It is pulling 942 watts out of my batteries right now. Okay, let's put that on volts. 11.38 volts is what my batteries are at right now. They were both fully charged. This alarm will go off on my inverter. The inverter right now is kicking this. It will pull a massive amount of power straight out of my batteries. You also have to make sure your connections are good and tight. I'm doing this now because, well, it is supposed to rain really bad today and for the next week or so. I wanted to talk about the limitations of solar. Every solar system will have limitations if you're just using it for a small home, or you don't have $50,000-$60,000 into your solar. And as you can see, it is bringing some light in from my panels. I don't know if you can see the rain on it. And I don't know if you can see, it is actually starting to steam up a little bit. There are some bubbles in here. This is the second time I made this video. The last time I made it, this little camera I have shut off. There is a little bit of what looks like steam at the top. I don't know if you can quite see that from here. I don't know if you can see it on this camera at all. Alright, the reason I'm making this, I got into a debate with somebody about running a 700 watt microwave. They say you have to have a 2500 watt power inverter. That is absolutely false. And he gave me a bunch of BS about Well, he also has a electric skillet that you have to have a 2500 watt inverter for. You know, if you're going to run something like an electric skillet, I don't know if you can see the steam, it's actually steaming up. If you're going to run something like an electric skillet, you have to have the battery capacity, you have to have the storage capacity, you have to have way thicker cables than what you normally buy. I have 2-gauge welder's cable that I made myself. Now, my 2 batteries will run a 700 watt microwave for short periods of time. It will also run, not at the same time of course, but it will also run the fridge that I have. We have an apartment size fridge. We have a little mini fridge. I hope you can see the bubbles. It is actually heating up. Now remember, my inverter says 1100 watt to 2200 watt peak. This electric skillet pulls 1200 watt continuous. So I'm actually surprised my inverter is actually powering this. I do love my little inverter. It's given me no issues whatsoever. And it was a $100 inverter. And I'm running a 1200 watt electric skillet. Now I expect this alarm to go off real shortly because it is pulling so much power out of the battery bank. The inverter does have a fan to keep it cool. I mean, okay, that's enough on this. You can see it boiling. It's starting to boil. The electric skillet is. I'm going to turn this off because I don't have water in the whole thing and I don't want to ruin the skillet. Okay, some of the main issues you're going to run across. Let's see if I can get that in there where it's, hopefully you can see the steam. Some of the main issues you're going to run across when you get your solar. If you just want a solar setup to run a small microwave, then this is a good inverter for you. Do not let people tell you you have to have a 2500 watt to 3000 to 5000 watt inverter to run a 700 watt microwave. That is 100% false. Your battery capacity and your storage. I've had these batteries, one for I believe around 4 years. I believe, let's see, 16 on this one. I believe the other one has been 5 years. I just can't see the sticker. It's all cruddy. But yeah, I've had one battery for 4 years, one for 5 years. And you can see my solar is taking it back up. And you see the bubbles in there. I hope you can see the bubbles. And I hope this camera doesn't shut off because it did the other day. My solar is perfectly charging. Remember, the main things you're going to screw up on when you get your solar set up. One, you have to have enough solar. To me, it makes more sense to have 2 100 watt panels per every battery. That gives you extra capacity, faster charging. 2, I have these cheap EverStart batteries. These are not deep cycle. I don't care what they claim. It says deep cycle power. They are not deep cycle batteries. A true deep cycle battery will last much longer. 3, your cables. You can see I have really thick cables here. This is 2-gauge welder's wire. And I did my own terminals and my own ends. So, I mean, you can see that. And then you have your inverter. Anytime you want to run something for longer periods of time, you have to have more batteries. You have to have the solar to keep up with those batteries. You have to have an inverter strong enough to power whatever you're trying to power. And that thing's still bubbling a little bit. So what I may do, I may turn this off and then make another video on the microwave. You saw it run off my van. So I'll probably go ahead and shut this off now. And I'll probably get the microwave out here and see what I can do with it. Anyway, these are the 4 mistakes you're going to make when going solar. Alright, that's it. Everyone have a good day. Bye.